Okay, in this report, I will show you how you can receive the money from customer and offset their sales invoice. And if you have any extra payment or any discount that you give to customer, how you can create the transaction and then offset. So in this report, in this recording, I will explain receipt voucher, sales credit note, and sales debit note. Okay. First, I will go to receipt voucher. So in the receipt voucher, you may have two scenarios to use. First one is you receive the payment from customer. Okay. Then second one is you have other income that maybe you doesn't need to create any invoice. Okay. It's just directly go to the GL code. So I will show you first one that you're receiving the payment from customer and then offset with the sales invoice. Okay. So first part, you need to click create. After you click create, you need to select which branch. Okay. So then you can just directly go to account if you don't have any other details to update. If you have any remarks, you can just directly update here as a reference or remarks. Then go to account. You select the customer name. After you select the customer name, you just directly go to settlement. Okay. In the settlement is the part that you key in the amount that you receive with the bank details. Okay. So you click create. After that, you need to select the settlement group, which type. Maybe you will receive cash, bank transfer, credit card, or any other type. So but currently only there's bank transfer for this branch. Then you select bank transfer. After you select bank transfer, you can select which bank account that you receive the payment. So you search for that bank account and then you click. After you click, then next part is for you to update the amount. So maybe you receive 2,000. Okay, so if you have any information, extra information, maybe for example you want to keep the reference number of this bank transfer as a reference, you also can key in the transaction number. If you have any remarks, you also can key in. Okay, so after that you can just add. After adding the payment, next part is for you to offset with the sales invoice. Okay, so for the next part, you directly go to Contra. In the Contra, you just click create. Then you can see list of the sales invoice that haven't paid or haven't Contra for this customer got balance. Okay, so here you can see these are the sales invoice. So you can select one of them, or you also can just click. Then it will help you to auto offset all the sales invoice accordingly. You can see. So you can see it offset the first one, means the previous one, all the sales invoice first. Then with the next one, then last will be the latest one. But for the latest one, you can see the amount is 22950. But it only help you to offset with the balance. Okay. So you also can do like this, or you also can select which one you want to offset. Okay, so you can just add. Once you add, you can see the balance already changed to 0. Then you can just final. So this Contra part, you also can even after final, you still can able to delete the Contra and then offset with another sales invoice if you did wrongly. So maybe sometimes you receive the amount, but your customer didn't inform you that which sales invoice they want to offset. In that case, you can just create the settlement. You just add the settlement, and then you just directly final. After they confirm, then you can just click into the finalize that got balance receipt voucher, and then go to Contra, and then Contra is the payment. Okay, so this Contra part is you can add it even after the final after you finalize the receipt voucher. So just the part that you need to take notice, you just make sure that there is no ARAP balance. If got ARAP balance, means you haven't do the Contra. Okay, so this one is how you can offset with the sales invoice. The next one is how you can create receipt voucher for other income. Maybe you receive some interest payment from bank. Okay, then you just click create. Then you go to main details. Okay, maybe you key in the reference number or your remarks number. Then you go to account. Maybe in the account you need to select the the customer. If let's say you receive interest payment from customer, then maybe you can create one customer for that, not customer from bank. Well, maybe you can create a customer for that bank. So then you select. After you select, next part is for you to go to revenue. So since this receipt voucher is for other income, there is no sales invoice for you to do the Contra. So you just come to revenue, and then you select that GL code. So in the GL code, maybe it's like interest payment. If there's interest payment, you can just search. If not, can I use any other first? Let's say I just use some rental income for now, but you can just select that based on your income. Okay, after you select, then you need to key in the amount. Maybe you receive 25 ringgit. Maybe we assume this as just a small amount. The next part is you already have revenue 25, then settlement. Okay, settlement is for you to select which bank, which account you receive. Okay, then the amount will be auto selected since you already add the revenue here. So after that, you just add. Okay, then after you add, then the balance will be 0 because you already have GL code, which is revenue, other revenue, then settlement method. So it will be automatically offset with each other. Then you can just final. So in this case, this receipt voucher also won't have any ARAP balance. Okay, just make sure that there's no ARAP balance. If got ARAP balance, then you didn't do the Contra. So for this first other revenue transaction, after you finalize, you cannot edit anymore. Only this receipt voucher that you create for customer and offset with sales invoice, that part you can edit the Contra part only after you final. Okay, so this is how you can use the receipt voucher. The next part is for the sales credit. So sales credit you can use if let's say you have you gave extra discount to your customer. After you create the sales invoice, you want to give some additional, maybe rebate or anything as a promotion or discount or any other things to your customer. Then you want to offset with the sales invoice, right? So in this case, you can use internal sales credit note. So you create the sales credit note. You just click create. Then in here you can find out the sales invoice directly. So which sales invoice, or you also can use main details to manually key in. Okay, so maybe I search one of the sales invoice. This one usually it's for you to select a quantity if you want to change some of the quantities amount. But for discount part, you need to key in manually. So you just directly go to branch. after you select, then you go to account, select the customer, then you go to lines. So in the lines, you need to select the discount GL code. Maybe it's like other discount. Yeah. This discount. Okay, we assume that there's one GL code that you can use, item that you use to do the discount. So maybe you give 200 discount, then you just add. So after you add, you just directly go to the Contra, then you Contra with the sales invoice that you want to give the discount. Okay, maybe I use this one. Since it's 900 sales invoice, I click create. Then this one is 200. Then I add. Okay, so after I add, then you can final it. Okay. Okay, this one already finalized, so you just need to make sure that there is no AIP balance. So this 200 already applied to sales invoice. So next time when they make the payment in the receipt voucher, when you offset, then only the balance you can see to Contra with that sales invoice, which is after the discount. Okay. Then last part in this recording is sales debit note. So sales debit note you will use when you have extra payment that you want to charge your customer after you create the sales invoice. Maybe for example like delivery charges. So you just click create, then you can select the main details, then you go to account. So in the account you can select which this extra payment is for which customer. Then in the lines you need to add this amount is for what purpose. Maybe it's delivery. I think there's no. I just use one of the items as an example. Okay, then I can key in the amount, maybe it's 20 ringgit as an extra amount. Then after that you just go, after that you just final. So you cannot do the Contra with sales invoice since it's same site. Okay, so same amount, it's extra for the sales invoice. So when your customer paying the money, when you receiving the amount, then you can Contra with both this sales debit note and then with the sales invoice. Okay, so sales debit note can be Contra with receipt voucher or sales credit, not with the sales invoice. So when they make the payment, you just use the receipt voucher to Contra. So if you have already have the receipt voucher, then you also can just directly come to Contra and then Contra with that receipt voucher. Currently you cannot see any. Okay, final. Okay, so one part that I forgot to add on is for the sales credit note and then for the sales debit note there is e-Invoice tab. So when you creating the transaction, okay, after you select the customer, in e-Invoice tab you need to make sure that you selected this one as individual or consolidated. If it's like you want to send this e-invoice to your customer, then you just do individual. If you want to consolidate this e-invoice, maybe your customer didn't request e-invoice, the end of the month it will be consolidated. Okay, so you can select, and then this one is referring to which e-invoice. Let's say this sales debit note you created for one of the sales invoice, right? Then you need to put that sales invoice e-invoice UUID, which is provided by LHTN site, as a reference for this sales debit note. If you don't have it, then you can just make it empty. If you have it, then here you can click create, or you can just select from the listing here. Okay, currently there's no any, but when you have any e-invoice related document here, you can select from the listing as a reference for the sales debit note. So this one also will be applied to the sales credit note side. Okay, so that's all for this video.